All right, Wilson, let's get the day started, shall we? 47 degrees out there. Had some rain overnight. And here is a look at First News, where it's fair, accurate, you get the damn truth. Widespread flooding and landslides set off by a tropical storm in the Philippines left 24 people dead. It swept away cars. People were scrambling in motorboats to rescue trapped villagers on roofs. The government has shut down all schools, offices today so they can make a disaster response in Manila. The United States has confirmed there are now 3,000 North Korean troops that have been deployed to Russia and are training with them to help them in their fight against the Ukraine. That's right. Under the Harris-Biden regime, North Korea has expanded their military, their ballistic missile systems, their nuclear arsenals, and now they're sending troops in to help Russia combat the Ukraine. There has been no attention paid to Kim Jong-un and North Korea and the expansion of their military since Donald Trump left office. It's getting worse by the day, folks. France is going to provide 100 million euros to support people in Lebanon. French President Emmanuel Macron said that in his term, they will send in a massive aid package to the Lebanese population to feed thousands of people being displaced by the war that has started under the Harris-Biden administration. Israel was blatantly attacked by the Hezbollah terrorists and Hamas militants in October of last year, and so they have vowed to wipe out terrorism across the Middle East, as that has become a quagmire over the last 4 years. Joe Biden has sent Secretary of State Antony Blinken to meet now with Qatari officials to try to be mediators with terrorists and Israel, trying to negotiate some sign of ceasefire. Biden and Harris, though, are not sending Antony Blinken to Russia or to the Ukraine to work out on a ceasefire. Oh, no. No, they're trying to get even more aid and weaponry into the Ukraine to battle Putin and Russia. North Carolina officials said that catastrophic flooding and destruction from Hurricane Helene likely caused $50 billion in damages. That's according to their governor, Roy Cooper. That's their preliminary figure released yesterday. The request now going into our federal government was disclosed before their legislature will meet in a session to advance some recovery legislation. Cooper said the previous record for storm damage in North Carolina was $17 billion. That's after Hurricane Florence back in 2018. This was the largest hurricane they've had that did the most widespread damage. Most of it was caused by flooding from the heavy rain. Donald Trump bypassed 60 Minutes after they tried to frame him last time, in which he proved they were wrong about the Hunter Biden laptop. And so Hunter Biden has now also been silent here over the last few months. You haven't heard anything about his trial or the Biden family trial. And Donald Trump is bypassing a lot of these major shows and now doing podcasts. He's made it popular, doing all kinds of podcasts that are getting record viewership as the presidential candidates now are into the final 9 days or so of 7 days, actually, of the election. Growing popularity of podcasts, and they're making more and more appearances. Kamala Harris was on an NBC News show where she knew she would be treated kindly. Also on CNN Town Hall meeting on Wednesday where she was treated kindly. Won't have to take any specific questions about policy. Millions of Americans can't afford to buy a home now. Inflation has gobbled up all their extra money, making rent tough, buying a house tough. Harris and Trump have laid out plans to try to boost construction. Now, Harris's plan calls to build 3 million new homes and give everybody $25,000 to put down payment on a home. That's what she wants. Now, where in the hell's all that money going to come from?
You and me.
Nobody knows. Trump said he wants to give tax incentives for home buyers and cut a lot of these unnecessary regulations on home construction that prevents them from building in the first place. The fixes in the housing market is a challenge to either candidate that would win. And for the most part, one thing you can do is allow more people to keep money to have the ability to buy their home and pay their rent. Some profit reports coming in yesterday. Tesla's third quarter net income was up 17%. Good vehicle sales for Tesla. CEO Elon Musk predicted the company will achieve 30% sales growth next year as he continues to run that company. Bad news for Boeing. Their factory workers voted 64% against the latest contract offer. Local union leaders in Seattle said it fell short of the majority needed as they cast their ballots on Wednesday. The offer included pay raises of 35% over the next 4 years, and folks, they turned it down even with the bonuses, holding a gun to Boeing's head, and Boeing will start laying off workers, no doubt. They initially demanded a 40% pay raise, and they wanted that over 3 years. Boeing said the average annual pay right now for a starting machinist, $75,608. Pretty good dough. McDonald's is out there working to reassure their customers their restaurants are safe as investigators are pinpointing that E. coli outbreak linked to their Quarter Pounder hamburgers. They pulled them from a fifth of their stores on Tuesday, as it sickened 49 people in 10 states. One person actually died. They said it dealt with the slivered onions that they served raw on their Quarter Pounder hamburgers were likely the source of the contamination. Like I told you yesterday, you know how that happened in the onion fields, Mark. I won't go over it again.
Thank you.
Southwest Airlines reporting their third quarter profit fell 2/3 from a year ago. The company's dealing with higher costs for labor and other expenses. And folks, you know what's going to happen with these labor costs that just keep going up and up and up. And if they keep raising their prices because they have to recover it from the consumers and it goes up and up and up, people are going to fly less. They're going to travel less. And these companies won't survive.
No.
Look at CVS. Look at Walgreens. Look at Red Lobster. Look at all these. Cost. They're selling stores. They're closing stores. They're laying off people, all because of inflationary policies. And unions holding them hostage. World shares mixed today. European markets gaining. Asian benchmarks fell. Oil prices were up $1 yesterday. I don't know if you folks noticed or not, but gas in Billings jumped dramatically this week. Went from about $3.06 to $3.19 overnight, as oil was right around $70 a barrel. Yesterday, the S&P was down 53 points. The Dow fell 409 points. NASDAQ fell 296 points. You can imagine McDonald's, they dropped over 5% because of the onions in their Quarter Pounder with cheese or without cheese. Big tech stocks whose prices have been going up because of AI stuff were the heaviest weight on the market. NVIDIA, they were down 2.8%. Apple was down 2.2%. AT&T, though, was up. They were up 4.6%, reporting stronger profits in the latest quarter. Texas Instruments also up 4%. They're reporting stronger profits and revenue anticipated with their company. Got the election coming up next week. People were already sending in their ballots. We're getting record early voting in a lot of states around America, including here in our state where people are taking in their ballots. I drove by the drop-off place yesterday by the courthouse, and it was very, very busy. And when it comes to counting them, though, there's really no body of administrators or no general rules for the election on counting. Each state can do it differently. People watch results on election night, but then tabulating could take days and even weeks depending on what state you're in. In Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, for instance, mail ballots, they don't even open those until Election Day. That extends their voting counting process. They won't even let them open them till Election Day. Most states with mail voting allow ballots to be opened several days before Election Day, and they can tally those ahead of time. Some states with a lot of mail ballots, like Georgia, they can report their results faster because they open their ballots. Florida's the same way. Florida has all their results by midnight the night of the Election Day. In Arizona, voters are allowed to drop off a mail ballot as late as the time that the polls close. And a recent law in Nevada will allow ballots that are at least mailed on Election Day. They can arrive a couple days later and be counted. So they'll know how things are going. And then all of a sudden, a couple days later, here comes more ballots into Nevada. Folks, we need to get some real standard election rules and laws into place for this country. We really do. We mentioned earlier this morning that hunting season starts this weekend, the big game season. And up there north of town, they're having a mule deer problem in the town of Roundup. FWP is issuing deer license for town.
Oh, geez.
Archery hunt. Yeah, last year, 90 either sex mule deer. Now, if you're north of town, I know what that means to you. But it's different when it comes to hunting. All right? Either sex mule deers permits will be available. Last year, they took 90 out of town. Some hunters reported the urban deer were more challenging to hunt because they're becoming more wary of people now. They had a success rate of about 18% up there. But, the deer know. There's flowers there, green grass, water.
Yeah.
There's cover. They know they can't be hunted. They're not stupid. Licenses are available to residents and non-residents. You have to have a conservation. You have to have a bow and arrow license. You got to be left-handed. You have to have 3 kids and a Chevy Camaro. For God's sake, look at what they do, Mark.
That's right.
To get one of these things. And it's a problem. But you have to have all these things first. Their season up there will run December 2nd through February the 15th. And their city officials and the sheriff's department have observed fewer aggressive deer this year and fewer vehicle deer collisions since they started having their special hunts up there in the Roundup area. So there you go. That's an extra way to get some more meat in the freezer.
That was good about the either sex. I like that.
Thank you. Cat Country News Time is 6:48. Sports and weather coming up.
In sports, folks, a story that we're glad to hear about with Tua Tagovailoa coming back for the Dolphins after his concussion. North Carolina State quarterback Grayson McCall is retiring from football in the middle of his college career. And he posted to Instagram, "Brain specialist, my family, and I have come to the conclusion that it is in my best interest to hang the cleats up."
Good for him.
He's got a history of concussions, and he doesn't want to ruin the rest of his life, so he's going to hang him up now.
Yeah, I just question Tua's doctors.
Yeah.
And it's like all of us. We can, if you keep trying, you can probably go and find a doctor eventually that will give you the answer that you want.
Very true.
If you keep bypassing all the other ones and don't even take what the majority of them are saying and then find the right one. You should be all right. Put a little extra padding in your helmet.
Right.
You should be. And that's the one then you use.
Right.
I don't know. He has been seriously involved with concussions.
Yeah.
I mean, not just little ones.
No.
Big ones.
Yeah, big ones. But he's making the money. He's coming back.
Wow, that's crazy. Partly sunny today, 56. Same thing for tomorrow, 70 on Saturday. Some nice rain overnight. We'll take it anytime. 47 out there now, 650. And that's what's happening. Mark and Paul here together. Thanks for tuning into the Cat.